Practice. We should practice.
Welcome into the Sports Buffoons podcast. That is right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the world. Welcome on into once again, back again to the Sports Buffoon Studios here out of Lenexa, Kansas. You guys might have noticed I had a little growl in my voice. I've been listening to metal on the way to Tanner's house to the studios here today. And I couldn't help myself. But feel that way. Feel that energy about everything. Because you know what? MLB playoffs are among us, and we're sitting here in the background trying to watch Mr. Connor Dawson's team. Hopefully can pull off a big comeback win. We're going to see how that unfolds as the show goes.
If you hear us yelling, it's because stuff's going on.
We're rooting for the Brewers right now in the background, so I'm hoping they can get this thing pulled out. We'll see. Let's hope for some good things. But regardless, guys, we got a lot of great football stuff to talk about today, as well as easy money picks of the week, how we did last week, and then just some of our thoughts on how we've gone through now a quarter of the season in the NFL. And kind of how things are looking. And it's probably a little different than we imagined going into the year, I would say, between all of us. It's been an interesting season without a doubt.
Say.
But first and foremost, we got Jason JG to my left, Tanner Dawson to my right. I'm Mike Settle. What you guys sipping on?
Right now, I've got the Buzz Balls chalk teas. But what I really want to know is what were you guys doing at 1:20 p.m. today? Because I heard that the aliens were going to try to kidnap a bunch of people, and they actually did kidnap me. Like, I was gone. I was off the grid for about an hour or so, but they kidnapped me. Nobody saw me between like 1:20 and 2:20. So I was gone off the grid for about an hour or so. They kidnapped me, but then they put me back because they told me the aliens said that they watched this fucking show. They said
they watched you. They
loved the JG. We're going to put you back. But I heard a lot of other people got kidnapped at 1:20. But I turned my phone off. You know, I thought that's what we were supposed to do, is turn your fucking phone off. But they kidnapped me anyway. So
I was.
What about you guys? Were you doing some bullshit?
I was on my way back from Emporia, so I was just in Ottawa at 1:20.
And you had both signals go through your dick at the same time.
I
had your phone and the radio went through your dick at the same time.
But the guy next to me, his phone never went off, and it was on.
Yeah,
like he was on Snapchat. So
he was on Snapchat.
Yeah, when Snapchat when it all happened.
Well, I think Snapchat might be a Chinese kind of a app anyway. So there's something behind
just
that.
Like the talk tick.
They probably are not as interested in what was going on in America at the time.
That's probably true.
Maybe that was the issue. Mine was I have two phones at all times. So yeah, I had one phone off with the airplane mode on already. And then I had another phone that was my work phone, which I didn't care if it blew up or not because, it's your work phone. Who gives a shit? And so I had that sit next to me, but I was driving and I made sure as soon as I heard my phone go off, I muted the radio because I didn't want to hear that shit come through the radio at the same time. I had to avoid. So my main phone that I care about is perfectly safe. Never once got infected. I never once had anything go through it. So.
I will say, guys, 2 hours after I got home from work, right? So 3 hours afterwards, my phone was acting up slower than hell. It was like back in the day when we started our podcast on the old PC, freezing up. I had to restart it.
That old 5G, man. The 5G wave
screwed up my phone.
I did have a headache afterwards. I noticed because there's too many waves. Because I was driving, because I was at work driving. I had a lot of feels like brain waves going through, like something going wrong with my head for a minute when all that was going on. Maybe too many things going on at the moment. Maybe
did you forget your tinfoil cap?
That's probably what it was.
God damn.
That's a signal.
We talked to you about it, dude.
I know. I planned it too myself. But.
I think the reason why I got kidnapped and you guys didn't is because I did a fair enough job
last week.
Put shaming the unvaccinated. That's what I do. I like to put shame the people that don't get vaccinated. So
I didn't know that about
you. You can take that for what it's worth, but
I didn't know that you did that.
The aliens told me I did a good job, and that's why they let me go.
Put shaming. That might be one for the people, the fans out there need to Google themselves.
You did more than that last week.
That way they can learn a little bit about what that means, I suppose. But that's interesting, man. I didn't even know that about you, that you would do this thing.
We had a great show last week, by the way. Like, I think we got good reviews on that. It was a great fucking show last week, guys.
All right. Well, before we get into football, bad news. Looks like the Brewers had a rough time in that last inning.
Oh, that's brutal.
They didn't score
No scores, even though the bases were loaded.
again.
Don't we
We're
actually?
gonna hold it in, guys.
Don't we actually lose money?
We're gonna keep it together.
This show loses money every time the Brewers lose. That's the way I understand it.
We don't gain money when they lose. I'll put that out there. So, anyways, guys, I was asking about your fucking drinks. So,
Buzz balls.
You have a buzz ball.
Yeah.
I get the rest of
drunk.
the goose that we had
Goose.
last week.
I got a Powerade Zero. So very pure.
Attaboy.
Very pure electrolytes, all the good stuff for you. So guys, here's the thing. We're gonna kick it off some Chiefs talk, and then we're gonna dive into some questions of mine now that we're at the quarter of the season that I think people were surprised to see at this stage.
Oh, dude, you got to see the thumbnail. I got a good one.
I don't think I've even seen the thumbnail.
You got to see it.
It sounds like fun. But before we dig into that, this is also Chiefs related, I must say. So there was a report that a flight was delayed after a passenger puked taking a shot after every time Taylor Swift was shown during the Chiefs' first Jets game this past weekend. And this was apparently a flight that some kind of well-known sports columnist was on.
Was it a chick? Was it a woman or?
I believe it was a male. I'm not sure, but it was
a male.
Let's just put it this way: it was 17 shots. So they did 17 shots, and they puked on the plane, and everything got delayed. Everything got messed up before they were able to take off. Was the report?
Wow, okay.
Now, my question leading into that is really into the Chiefs is this whole Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce thing. I'm getting slightly annoyed by the whole thing. I mean, it's gotten to where it's, in my opinion, it's a little overblown. Travis even made a statement about it yesterday during his podcast on New Heights, just kind of how he thinks it's a little bit too much, and especially in his regard, especially with his situation, it was his exact statement.
Yeah.
I think that we're in a situation where the NFL doesn't know how to handle the situation of the biggest pop star in the world going to Chiefs games, going to the NFL games, and what to do about it other than just show her 100 million times. And now that's the focal point of the game, it seems like. I think it's getting a little old. I'm ready to get back to football. I mean, this to me does not need to be Tony Romo, Jessica Simpson, and all of the things that went around with that. I mean, it's just let Travis and Taylor Swift do their thing. I think it's funny to see pictures of them out dating. I think it's funny when they drove off in the convertible.
Yeah,
that shit's great. I love it. I have no problem with that, you guys. I have no problem with any of that kind of stuff. But the whole idea that, every time the Chiefs play now, we got to show Taylor Swift clapping her hands and fist bumping guys around her and just all this other kind of crazy stuff. I just don't care. I don't care. I want to keep my focus during the game on the field at this point. The Bears game, when we showed her at first, was funny. It's no longer funny anymore, guys. It's been 2 weeks and I'm kind of over the whole thing. But before I get into some of my thoughts about that situation, do you guys have anything to say about what I just told you about someone puking after doing 17 shots?
That's a long day.
Yeah,
a long night.
Yeah, I could see myself doing that. I could do something like that.
17 shots or puke? You would not puke.
But the thing of it is you said it was on an airplane, right?
Oh yeah.
Now you guys know how I like to act on an airplane.
What's that bill like in the end?
Well,
I think she probably did some before the airplane.
Probably in the airport.
You have stopovers,
and then got on the plane. Maybe did 2 more. I don't know.
Maybe that was her downfall, was getting on the airplane.
You can have stopovers. You can get drunk on the layovers, and you can, they always say that you're not supposed to bring shot bottles on the plane, but people do it anyway. I mean, who knows what they were doing? But I mean, that could be a problem, man. Like I could see myself in that person's shoes, and I would probably do something like that. 17 shots. I probably wouldn't pass out, but I was definitely black out. I'm not going to remember any of that shit. I'm not the type of person that would black out, or no, I'm sorry. I wouldn't pass out in that situation, but I would most definitely black out. So you're not going to remember anything. But that's the difference between me and a lot of these other people out there. They will actually pass the fuck out on the floor. Whereas the JG, I'll never pass out. I might lock myself in the bathroom. Well, on the airplane, I might lock myself in the lavatory. What do we call it? Hey, what do we call it? We don't call it bathrooms. We call it the lavatory on the fucking airplane.
You think
I'd
you'd
probably
ever
lock myself in there and get drunk.
piss down a stairwell or piss over a broken urinal?
Ever dry heaved with your face on a chair?
Would you do those things? It's possible you'd ever do this?
You know, that sounds like a conspiracy theory more if you really want to know the truth. But you know, like I understand why they did it. But that person went down the JG school of thought where we do shots. You know, we do shots and we don't care about, at some point you don't really care about Taylor Swift. You just care about getting drunk. So I think that's what happened there.
I'd have been mad. I've been pretty upset. Tanner, what are your thoughts on this whole Taylor Swift Kelsey thing? I mean, how do we get through this current situation as fans?
We don't. We just got to endure it.
But I mean, it's week 5, man. We're coming up on week 5.
It's a long season, dude.
I can't deal with this all year long.
Wait till if it ever ends, it's going to be 3 times worse.
It's all about the culture.
Oh, if they break up?
If they break up, it's going to be 3 times worse.
I feel the exact opposite. No. You know, if or when. Well, here's the thing. I've heard, just to say what I've heard as now a supposed, fan of the relationship or whatever you want to call me.
Allegedly.
Is that apparently Taylor Swift's enjoying the relationship. She thinks that he's great and down to earth. And she enjoys that, that he's been doing a lot of work to show interest in her, blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, all that kind of good stuff, So, I mean, that's the situation at hand. It sounds like things are going well. She also thinks he's attractive, and they have a lot in common. I mean, they're both 34 years old.
Here's the
they're
thing,
both
guys.
the exact same age. They grew up in the and we all know Kelsey's swag. Kelsey's a 90s kid like I am, goddammit. And so I'm about feeling that kind of swag. So I'm appreciative of that.
You can sit there and say that it's going well or it's not going well. It doesn't matter. That relationship doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what's the culture around the Chiefs locker room.
I hope we can just
what's the culture,
make it an issue.
Because if the Chiefs are winning, guess what? Nobody gives a fuck, right? Patrick Mahomes is going to do what Patrick Mahomes does. But if players start playing like shit, that's going to be an issue. I will tell you this, the other guys in the organization, when all we pay attention to every fucking week is Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, you got the rest of that whole fucking roster that is going to get tired of hearing about that shit. And that there's the potential that those guys could actually play better. They could play angry. They could play pissed. And that could be a good situation for the locker room. But at some point,
I don't feel like it's going
to. If you start playing like shit, you know what? We got to cut bait. That includes Taylor Swift. And I'm not suggesting that that's going to happen. Now, I don't want that to happen. I hope that they have I don't think it's going to happen. I hope they have a very fruitful relationship. But if it doesn't happen, then you got to cut bait with that chick. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, so far so good, right? So let's just hopefully ignore it and move on.
Now let's talk football, guys.
Football.
So here's the deal. So the Chiefs-Jets game was not ideal. We started off 17-0 in this game.
Fixed.
How in the world do you allow a game that's 17-0 against the New York Jets and that kind of a messed up organization right now without Aaron Rodgers? You end up letting them come back to where the game's tied at one point. You're trying to just fight and scrap, and Mahomes has to make a slide at the end of the game just to run the clock out and all this kind of other stuff. I mean, this should have been a blowout from the very beginning, and especially when it went 17-0. And yet we screwed around enough times to where that was no longer going to be possible. I guess what I want to talk to you guys about real quick is that we're seeing Mahomes right now frustrated as I've probably ever seen him on a week-to-week basis. And what I mean by that is he's currently got 8 touchdowns passing and 4 interceptions on the season. Also, right now, playing at his lowest level of his career at the moment on a week-to-week basis. And that, in a lot of ways, for me, comes down to the lack of receivers stepping up and trusting. Yeah. He doesn't have trust in receivers. Marquez Valdes-Scantling has 9 catches on this entire season. And he is our supposed to be the WR1. He's the highest paid receiver by far on this roster. And it's one of those things that it's frustrating to watch unfold. Sky Moore is, you guys already know what I think of him.
Sucks.
But he's a total waste of space on the field. Once again, got 0 catches on this last game. Kadarius Toney's always injured. And so when he does play, it's maybe a few snaps here and there, but not reliable. Rashee Rice needs to get more playing time. Justin Ross, I mean, we need to probably see more Justin Ross. There's no reason not to. Why would you not get him out there more often? I don't understand. So that's a thing. And then you got Justin Watson, who's everyone's like most favorite yet frustrating receiver to watch as well, because Mahomes trusts him, but he's also not going to be a playmaker at the same time. And so we have this guy that's on the roster that everyone feels like, okay, well, Mahomes likes him, but he also can't do shit after the catch. He's good for like some deep balls here and there, but never going to do much after. We're down to now throwing 20-something yard touchdown pass, a 30-yard touchdown pass to Noah Gray. That's our next best receiver after Travis Kelce, you guys. I'm on this roster. I'm serious. The most reliable wide receiver or tight end on this roster after Travis Kelce is Noah Gray. That is the most reliable thing we have on a down-to-down basis per game. I'm serious. This is getting to where it's sad and pathetic to watch unfold this arsenal of crap going on. Here's the thing. We went into this offseason and preseason, we're going, oh gosh, the receivers are an issue. The receivers are an issue. We know that they're not going to be up to par. We went to training camp and we're like, oh, damn, we see some talent here. We see some promise here. We see some guys that maybe could, be a part of this offense that are going to be surprising. Rashee Rice looks really good, which, give him time. He will look good. Sky Moore at the time, though, in training camp was getting a lot of action on some of these underneath rollout passes out to the flats. Stuff like that. Designed plays for Sky Moore. We're not even seeing those, Tanner.
No, we're not.
We're not seeing design plays for Sky Moore. MVS, who is our deep threat on this roster, highest paid wide receiver by far on this roster, doesn't do shit.
9 targets.
What do we do? What do we do about this situation at hand? Because to me, it's going to be our downfall at the end. Mahomes right now has his most rushing yards he's ever had through the first 4 games of his career. His highest ever in an entire season is about 380 yards rushing. Yeah. He's on pace for over 600 yards rushing. You know why? All those receivers are tied up, getting locked up by corners and safeties, and now you got to run for your freaking life every damn play. You got to scramble left, scramble right. You got to try to buy time every single play. Meanwhile, the truth is, this offensive line is doing a pretty freaking goddamn good job protecting Mahomes. Mahomes has the most time that I've seen him have actually in quite a while, but yet no one to throw to. How frustrating is that? As a fan and as a quarterback, Mahomes yet sits there this week and says, it's my fault. I'm not playing well enough. And it's true. He's not. He is making mistakes.
Correct.
But the receivers don't help.
But he's forcing it into it is what's happening.
So what do you guys think of this situation we have right now?
Who do you think leads in targets for the Chiefs right now?
Leads in targets right now.
Outside of Travis Kelce.
Okay. Probably a running back. I mean, if I had to guess at this moment, probably a running back. Could be Justin Watson,
okay.
But
who do you think, Jason?
Leading in targets?
Yeah.
Outside of Kelce.
Outside of Kelce. Kelce with 26.
I don't think it really matters.
But who do you think it is?
I'll give it to Rashee Rice. I don't care.
Ding. Rashee Rice with 19 targets. 19 targets. Sky Moore with 15 was second most right there. Kadarius Toney, Noah Gray, 13, along with Justin Watson. We keep talking about Rashee Rice getting opportunities. 19 targets sounds like pretty good opportunity.
Well, in 4 games, I mean, it's not the
13 receptions, 140 yards.
When you're working on this kind of team, I think 19 is a low, actually. I think Rashee Rice needs to get his targets up a little.
When Travis Kelce's sitting at 26, which we all know he's going to get.
And he missed a game.
Yeah, and he missed a game. Like, that's how bad this is.
19 targets.
But what do you mean by that, though? You say that's how bad this is. Why is that bad?
It's
like
bad.
He's a rookie.
No, not Rashee Rice.
Do we not want to elevate him?
We're talking about guys such as Justin Watson.
We're talking about why other guys who are veterans of this offense are not getting open.
MVS is 9 targets. 9 targets.
Okay, I said 9 receptions. My bad, guys.
6 receptions.
I meant 9 targets.
It's 6 receptions, 9 targets.
So
nice.
We're 4 weeks into the season. He's got 9 targets, not receptions. I said receptions a minute ago. I meant 9 targets.
Yeah.
From Patrick Mahomes. We just signed this guy 1 year ago to a brand new contract, be part of this organization for 3 years. And you are giving us
9
You can only get
targets,
open
6
enough
receptions,
down the field for 9 targets.
and 104 yards.
I don't think it matters, man. Like you guys are making a big deal about this. Like this early in the season, right? So we want guys like Rashee Rice. This is when you want to make a name for yourself. If you're a guy like Rashee Rice early in the season, like MVS is a guy that shows up late in the season when we really need him. Meanwhile, you've got guys like let's just look at the rest of the AFC real quick. Like the AFC is not as good. It's not going to be as difficult a path as we thought it was going to be. I mean, you look at Josh Allen, look at the Bills. Look at the Bills, right? Okay, so we all know that Josh Allen dude, he's a superstar in September, October, November. Then he shits the bed towards the end of the year. So MVS is a guy that really shows up when you need him to show up. We want guys like Rashee Rice to play big right the fuck now. Like we have a good record, right? Like we lost a game, okay? I don't really care. But we have a winning record right now. The AFC is weak, much weaker than we thought it would be right now. So we need to get reps for guys like Rashee Rice. Like you think that targets matter right now? They really don't. The targets matter at the end of the year. Okay. So we're working towards something. Like this is a long season. So I want you guys to just think of this in terms of, let's take baby steps in terms of like Rashee Rice and even guys like Sky Moore. Like we've got big expectations.
I don't
of
want
Sky
you to
Moore,
miss
but
the entire point of this, Jason.
I'm sure you don't.
The entire point is that Rashee Rice leads the wide receiver room in targets, and yet we have veterans on this roster who've now been a part of this organization for 2 years or more who can't get open.
Rashee Rice.
We're getting more snaps. Who are going to double the snaps?
Rashee Rice is 19 targets. He also, outside of Kadarius Toney's 9 receptions, he is second in catch percentage at 68.4. Kadarius Toney at 69.2.
That's
Sky
good.
Moore, 46.7.
My point,
46.7.
my point is that's a good thing, guys.
No,
that's a good thing early in the season. You guys act like this is the Super Bowl right now. We want to get these guys fucking reps early on so that they get experience.
All right. Fair enough. Hey, I'm fine with
I'm down for the experience.
That opinion, I suppose.
Figuring it out.
I'm more frustrated with seeing the guys who have been a part of this organization now for a little bit, not showing the fuck up when they need to be. And so that's the frustrating part.
It is. I agree with you. It is very frustrating to me as well. But at the same time, like you look at the landscape of the AFC, nobody else is showing up either. I mean, the Bills, they play great. Guess what? Nobody gives a fuck because they're not going to show up when it really counts.
All right.
And the Bengals aren't going to show up.
Okay.
You know?
Oh, hey, I
all these fucking teams suck ass. Honestly, if you want to know the truth, they suck ass.
I appreciate that opinion. That's good to hear. And I hope that we can get things figured out as time goes. I think you guys already know how I feel about most of the guys on this roster when it comes to receivers. I'm totally off MVS. I'm totally off Sky Moore. I'm ready for anyone else but them to just be involved more in the offense. MVS, I suppose, can be a specialized deep threat receiver who is used literally the same way that maybe the Saints used Shaheed, whatever the hell. Shaheed. Just a guy that they literally plug in for like a random deep throw here and there because that's all he's really good for at this point in his career. So anyways, guys, let's move on. We don't need to talk about the Jets game too much. I mean, it was frustrating a little bit, but
it was rigged.
Can we give a quick shout out here, like Isaiah Pacheco?
Oh, absolutely.
Isaiah Pacheco out here.
Yeah. Well, what do you want
to
say?
Like, look what he's been doing since the start of the season. Look what he's been doing in carrying the offense. If he doesn't do his if he didn't rush the way he did last week, we don't win that game.
No, I totally agree. And you guys know I love Isaiah Pacheco. I love that guy. He's a great player, great receiver, even though we don't use him that way as much. He does all those things well. I think that he probably his 41-yard run, something like that.
Yep.
It was the longest run by Chiefs running back in quite some time.
Yeah.
In a regular season game anyway. So
it is.
I just
want to make sure we do hit some kind of positivity because there is positivity.
There's positivity. I mean,
I'll give you the positivity. The positivity is that the Chiefs were up by 17 points, and there was no reason for the Jets to come back. The positivity is that the NFL knows that the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC. They will make sure that we come out of the AFC, but there's going to be some bumps and bruises along the way. And a lot of these, a lot of times you think, oh, the Chiefs should cover that, much like we said last week. When we made our picks, we said, oh, the Jets can't cover that. There's no way in hell. Well, the NFL likes to step in and do some work on these point spreads. But in the end, the Chiefs are going to come out on top, okay? Because the AFC looks like shit right now. So I don't really care how we get there. You guys, you might disagree with me on this, but it shouldn't be easy to get to the AFC Championship or the 1 seed or the 2 seed, what have you. I mean, it doesn't matter how we fucking get there. The NFL is going to rig certain games, okay? They're going to rig certain point spreads. We've already been over this shit. I don't know how many times, but as long as you get to the promised land, which is the AFC Championship, that's the only thing that matters,
All right, guys, going up against Vikings though this week. I'm glad we have a 3 p.m. game this week. That's nice to see. I'm not a fan of these late games so much these days. I mean, we getting that old age, But no, we're playing against Kirk Cousins, guys. Guy we saw in the quarterback show along with Patrick Mahomes, obviously. Yep. And I think the Vikings are up to an interesting start to their season. I think we've seen some frustration out of their locker room at times, but at the same time, this is probably not a team to take lightly. The Vikings have firepower. Justin Jefferson's a top 3 receiver in the league right now.
Jordan Adams out there.
And at the end of the day, Kirk Cousins, you guys, is one of those guys that's just above average enough to make you get a little worried. And so that's the way I would phrase things. But I do want to point out something. The Vikings play a lot of zone defense.
They do.
And what we've seen recently is a lot of man-to-man against the Chiefs receivers. And, we've seen how that's turned out. This is a situation, maybe the Vikings pull off that zone defense and maybe go more man-to-man because it makes more sense going against a weaker opponent to go man-to-man. Because, truth be told, Tanner, if we're going back to the origination of the zone defense, it was about, and it first of all, started off in high school and college like everything else does, but it started off as the idea that you play a zone instead of a man-to-man because you're going against a superior athletic team.
Mm-hmm.
From the defensive standpoint. So the defensive standpoint is we're going to sit in a zone rather than play man-to-man because we know we cannot physically match up with you man-to-man. Where, the NFL eventually adopted this, and now here we are man-to-man. Or man-to-man and zone has become a thing. We're talking 50 years ago, you guys. But my point of saying the Vikings should and could come off of this is that their cornerbacks and safeties, who Harrison Smith just had 3 sacks in one game, but they should be coming off of that zone defense and playing more man-to-man, going up against your Sky Moores and your MVS and your Justin Watson and your Rashid Rice.
Yep.
And that's something, if I'm a defensive coordinator, and I don't care what my strategy is, I'd be considering that myself as a way to combat this team. Because if you play zone, and you know how smart Patrick Mahomes is and Travis Kelce, they're always finding ways to fit into whatever the hole is in your zone. You're going to get picked apart. You will get picked apart. Mahomes is going to finally have 300 yards passing. He's going to put up big numbers on your ass. And you're going to finally see guys like Sky Moore have some catches and MVS have a few catches that you're surprised about. You're going to go back to your work desk on Monday and go, wow, they finally showed up for a game. I wonder why. If you're the Vikings, play man-to-man, you're going to give yourself a better shot.
I mean, you got a team defense right now that's 9.8 in the yards per completion right now in pass coverage. Right, giving up 7 touchdowns, blown multiple games. Brian Murphy, if they, like you said, if they just get into a situation where they can play man-to-man, we've seen Brian Murphy already this year for the Vikings, getting guys' face, stop big name guys. Evans as well. Evans can be a guy too.
I'm not worried about Byron Murphy against Travis Kelce if that's what it comes down to.
I don't think it'd be against Travis Kelce though.
Just in general.
I think just in general, having him in a receiver's face.
I think he's better as a corner than any of our receivers are at being a receiver.
I think the guy that we have to watch for on the side of wait, do I even see him? I don't. The rookie safety last year that got hurt in England. I don't even see him in this list. That's kind of weird. I missed something there. I mean, he would have been somebody I'm not really worried about. Harrison Smith isn't a pass coverage guy anymore. He's just a hard hitter to stopping the run.
Keep him downloading blitz.
Yeah, and maybe Metellus, maybe Bynum. That'd be it for that. So look, I think this is a very great chance for this Chiefs offense to start putting something together, and it should be one of those shootouts too, where you got to put up offense numbers to stay up with this.
I think the over-under is 53 at the moment.
You know, I haven't even
looked.
Had a minute.
I think it was somewhere around 53, which is actually a pretty good over-under because, I think it's overall a good over-under. But if the Chiefs defense can get back to doing what they do best, considering what we saw this past week, then it could be lower than that for sure.
It could be. Let's see here. Totals, view matchup. So our totals right now, it is a 4-point spread. So we know that. Went down from 4.5. Your over under is 53 on DraftKings right now.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't touch it, honestly.
Do you want the quick injury report?
Let's do a quick one for the fans.
Okay, your injury report, limited practices is what we'll touch for the Chiefs. Nick Bolton, limited practice, and Jalen Watson, limited practice. Everybody else was full. The Vikings side of things, Brian Asamoah, linebacker, limited practice. Bradbury is limited. With a back, Luis Seen, that's who I was thinking of. Hamstring.
I forgot all about him.
Yes, that's who I was thinking of. He has a hamstring
Georgia
issue.
Safety.
Yep, limited practice. Davenport's limited. Metellus is limited. Mullins is limited. Well, we don't care about Mullins, but so I mean that's some actually decent players that are in an issue. Safety, and a free safety, or I guess Harrison Smith was rest. But that's still guys that's starter material right there. Sure. on limited practice right now.
Yeah, most of them are.
Hey, it's quite interesting there. Everybody else for the Chiefs here is full practice or did not practice. Matt Dickerson's the only one that did not practice.
Yeah, what's the biggest one for the Vikings though?
It'd have to be, for me, looking at it here, it'd have to be Bradbury, center.
I think so. Okay, that makes sense.
With the back issue too.
Yeah, if he can go. But
I mean you have Chris Jones in the middle. Dana's playing really good. Get in the middle. The way the defensive line's playing, if you're missing your starting center.
Oh yeah, I mean I can only imagine
it
how
could be a rough day for Kirk Cousins.
We had to deal with that kind of thing. So Jason, what are your thoughts going into this matchup?
I'm with you guys. I think the Vikings, they have to go man to man in this situation, and I think like. A lot of people are saying like this is like a trap game for the Chiefs, right? Because you got the Vikings with a shitty ass record. Chiefs, meanwhile, kind of just skated by the Jets and last week. I just think these two teams right now, they are what they are. Like the NFC North to me is shitty right now. Like, and it's going to be an epic shitty performance by that entire fucking division. I think the Vikings are a lot worse than you think they are. And, we led off this discussion talking about weapons. And you said one guy. You said one name, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, he missed two others.
Is anybody like really? Do we really care about the rest of their weapons? I mean,
Tanner does.
Tight ends always wrecks up.
Tanner does.
That's fine.
Tight ends
that's
always
fine.
wreck
But
us.
I was just like, this is kind of
Jordan Addison's not nobody to be shy about.
This is like a reversion to the mean. I mean, the Vikings played very, very well last year.
Jalen Watson's back for the record.
That's true.
Vikings won a lot of close games last year.
Both sides.
I just think their entire division is trash this year. The Bears are trash.
I mean, the Lions beat
Packers
us already.
Are trash.
So,
yeah. Well, that should tell you something. If that's the best team, in the fucking division is the Lions, who haven't won shit, and I don't know how many, not years, but decades. That should tell you something about that fucking division. I'm not buying it, man.
History.
I personally don't believe that the Vikings are going to put up a fight in this game. I really don't.
I mean, Cousins has 11 TDs. He has over 1,200 yards already. While meanwhile, Mahomes is just barely squeaking by the 1,000-yard mark with only 8 TDs.
You have shitty ass receivers.
Yeah.
No one can get open. You can't do shit.
You just can't discount the weapons that Cousins has to throw to. And all it takes is a couple missed coverages and you're down.
Yeah, no, I know it's frustrating, man. It is what it is at this point.
Here's my
Cousins
thing.
is also going to be more prone to the stupid mistakes.
That's his issue.
Mahomes makes mistakes, especially this last game. We saw him have not a good performance.
Correct.
We saw Mahomes make bonehead throws and mistakes, and he was overthinking some throws here and there. But at the end of the day, like, you don't see him typically make the dumb mistakes, like the dumb ones that are just like, why would you do
the interception
like,
in the corner to Osborne for some freaking reason?
Just something like where pick sixes. You don't see Mahomes throw a lot of pick sixes.
This is a defense.
The interceptions he does throw are going to be more down the field or linebackers. He
Correct.
throws more picks probably to linebackers than any other possession.
Correct.
I'd actually love to do a study. I actually love to do a study on that. I think the majority of Mahomes interceptions, I believe, are from linebackers more so than safeties or corners. And I'm going to do my own study. Now that I've said it out loud, I want to do my own study on that.
Don't say it out loud.
But I think that's been the majority of his more of his mistakes. More involved with that. But
hey, man,
what
the bottom line
3-4-2-2. That's his turnovers so far.
The bottom line here is like Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is more motivated than Kirk Cousins right now. You know why? Because Patrick Mahomes barely beat that the Coug hunter, Zach Wilson.
I'm not talking about Zach Wilson.
Kirk Cousins.
But you should be.
Why would Kirk Cousins not be motivated? He doesn't have a contract at the end of the year.
We barely beat the Coug hunter and Zach Wilson. The guy that the whole country likes to talk shit on, right? We barely beat that guy. If that guy sucks and Patrick Mahomes barely beat him, then he should be able to destroy Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins is fighting for a contract next year.
Tanner,
fighting for a contract.
How old is he?
Is he not like a 40? Or is he? He's
not that old.
He's going to get a contract. He will get a contract.
He'll get a contract. I'm just saying, like, he doesn't have a contract at the moment to back himself on.
What was the vehicle?
He's 35.
Okay. First of all,
35.
Don't worry about
all that shit's irrelevant anyway.
I'm just saying it's a year for
I
him
agree
to
with
prove
you. That is irrelevant.
Why would it be irrelevant for a contract year?
I was going to bring up the fact that he's made a shitload of money, probably $100 million, but he still drives an old beater van. He never even bought himself a new vehicle. So it's probably not relevant if you want to know the truth.
Oh, you guys are getting off
Kirktober, dude. No. It is Kirktober, though.
You guys are getting off topic.
It is Kirktober.
Pick your scores right now. Tanner, you go first.
You fuck.
No, we're not.
Seriously?
You guys are trying to get off fucking. We have more topics to go. God damn it. 37 minutes. Tanner, you go first.
This has to do with the score
prediction. Go.
Let's see here. 2021, KC beat the Vikings by 3.
Not going to happen.
19, we beat the Vikings by 3. So give me the score that we beat the Vikings by 3. 30-27.
Yeah, give me 31-21. The Vikings are not who we thought they were.
Who do we think they are?
We thought that they were a contender last year.
They're a 1-4 team.
We thought that they were going to be maybe possibly win a playoff series last year. But guess what, guys? They lost to the fucking Giants. So they're not who we thought they were. So you'll be 31-21 Chiefs.
I'm going 27-23 Chiefs. So that is mine.
Moving right along.
All right, guys. Let's play a little game here for a minute. Now that we got our Chiefs talk out of the way.
Let's play a game, dude. You want to play a game?
Yeah. Let's play a little game for a minute, you guys. I want a parlay bet. I didn't even know I'd placed.
Attaboy.
All right. So here we go. So NFL. Let's get it going, guys. So rapid fire, give me a quick answer and then also a fairly quick response. We're not getting to dive into this. Just want to hear you guys. We can talk about this. Who is the best team in the AFC South? 4 weeks in. What are you Googling, Tanner?
I think Tanner should go first.
First of all,
no. Here it is.
Go first,
this is easy.
I'm sick of this
the
shit.
Texans are the best team. The Texans are the best team.
You fucking cheater.
No, I forgot.
You saw my fucking notes.
I was thinking
the
Titans
notes
for a minute, but I didn't
you
want the
did
Titans.
not.
I did too.
Tell me what you really think, you piece of shit.
I think the Texans are the best team. Easy.
Why?
Stroud's throwing like monsters, and he's beating teams he shouldn't be beating.
All right. Okay.
Tank Dell.
So, all right.
All right. You talk what?
I'll give him the real answer. Okay. Number one, he copied off of my ass. He was looking at my fucking notes. But the AFC South, the Houston Texans, are surging right now. They are the best team in that division. CJ Stroud is the real deal. Threw for 306 yards, 2 touchdowns versus the Steelers. And you know what, guys? Houston is surging after losing their first 2 games of the year. Guys, honestly, I don't believe in the fucking Steelers, man. I don't believe in that anybody in that fucking.
What are we talking about Steelers for?
Whatever.
The AFC South.
I don't believe. Okay, so
Do you believe in the Colts?
Question.
Do you believe in the Jaguars? Do you believe in the Titans?
All I know is the fucking Houston Texans beat the fucking Steelers, right? That's all I give a shit about.
So you go Steelers? Steelers the best team?
No. Fuck you.
No.
Houston is the best team in that fucking division.
All right. So no, here's the thing.
Man, that's true.
I'm coming around on that idea because CJ Stroud has not thrown an interception yet this year.
Correct.
He's not turning the ball over. If you have a quarterback that cannot turn the ball over all year, regardless of your situation, regardless of the fact that Dameon Pierce is averaging 2.8 yards per carry, which is not great, you guys.
Nope.
1 touchdown. He's not putting up the numbers, you guys. CJ Stroud, at the end of the day, as a rookie quarterback, has 1,200 yards passing. He has, 6 touchdowns thrown and 0 picks. He does not turn the ball over. If you don't turn the ball over, you're going to win a lot of games.
Go ask Brock Purdy.
It's literally the exact thing the Titans needed to do as far as their game plan of how to not lose games, but yet they can't figure out how to not do it. They continue to turn the ball over. That's the issue. But I digress. I think that it's a good take, you guys. All going Texans. I appreciate that.
Bottom line is, I am not the NFL expert on the show, but the other 2 buffoons agreed with the JG because I threw that shit out there. I might be an expert one of these days.
Next question.
The NFL.
Talk Steelers. Best team in the AFC North this year through 4 games.
Man, you guys are going to hate me for this one. I'm going the Cleveland Browns.
Really?
Cleveland Browns.
That doesn't make any sense.
They just lost to the Baltimore Ravens. No Deshaun Watson.
Wait. I thought you said NFC North.
AFC North.
AFC North.
All right.
Deshaun Watson didn't play on Thursday. Obviously that hurt, or Sunday, that hurt the team out. Regardless what we think of how Deshaun's playing, when Deshaun's in, that defense is playing lights out, and Deshaun's getting people the ball that when they need to, and he's playing very aggressive this year. I think the Browns are the best team. I think they would have beat Baltimore last week if Deshaun Watson played.
Do you feel like you're going on a hot take for this one?
Tiny bit. I think any team that you go out for in the AFC North is a hot take, though.
And we're obviously dismissing the Bengals. 1-3. Joe Burrow has the worst quarterback rating in the NFL right now.
Make fart noises with my mouth.
Which is awesome. I appreciate that. I mean, Joe Burrow, I don't give a fuck what happens to his career at this point. But we also have to think about, obviously, you got the Baltimore Ravens, and you said you don't believe in the Steelers.
No, fuck no.
Well, so what's left?
So, we all thought that Joe Burrow, when we made our picks at the beginning of the season, which was a fucking disaster, because your boy JG took the fucking Bengals to run away with this shit.
I didn't do.
Well, the problem is we don't have a healthy motherfucker at the quarterback position on the Bengals right now. So now the default is obviously the Baltimore Ravens. That is the best team in the division because they just haven't there's nobody else left. I mean, I believe in Lamar. Because Lamar has been an MVP in this fucking league. So he's already proven himself in terms of the quarterback position, but no, the rest of that fucking division sucks. So yeah, give me the Ravens all day long.
4 weeks into this, 4 weeks ago, Tanner, on this show, we talked about this division and we talked about, how, it could be one of the more, diverse divisions and hardest to pick, I guess, because there's a lot of people that are believers in the Steelers. We can have a recap, but
we don't need a recap.
We don't need a recap right now. But here's the thing.
Ravens.
I had Ravens.
That was the pick. I had Ravens.
I picked Ravens.
He was the Bengal.
I know.
The bottom line is that Joe Burrow is not right.
Saved it.
Joe Burrow is not.
I got receipts.
I know you got receipts. Okay?
Here's the thing, Tanner. He's keeping receipts. Good job, man. Give me that fucking money.
Only thing I'd argue about with your current take is that without Nick Chubb, what you're wanting out there from the Browns is not going to happen.
The defense is playing phenomenal. It can keep
without Nick Chubb, it's not going to work. The Ravens are the better team in this whole division. It's not even close.
Did you just say Kareem Hunt? Is Kareem Hunt going to take him to the promised land?
Who gives a shit about Kareem Hunt? Averaging 3.5
I'm
yards
just
a carry.
stating. You
Holy
asked me the
shit.
question. I gave you my answer.
That's fine. And I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I got 2 more questions, you guys, before we move on to our easy money bet of the week. So here we go. What is your biggest disappointment in the league through 4 weeks of the NFL season at this point? It's moved on quick, guys. It's happening fast.
Biggest disappointment.
4 weeks in. It feels like it just started yesterday.
I'll tell you what, I've got a lot of disappointments, but I think I would go with the disappointment of the world right now. A lot of people thought that Justin Fields would turn it around this year because that division was up for grabs.
I'm not talking Bears again.
You had, hey, fuck you, man. Did I literally talk about that for a half hour last week?
He can say whatever he wants. It's his disappointment.
The bottom line is like when we looked at the fact that Aaron Rodgers was going to be out of that division, this was Justin Fields' time. The problem is we also thought that coaching staff was going to turn around, but unfortunately, that coaching staff turned out to be a piece of shit, and they wanted to ruin Justin Fields' career, and they're probably going to draft a different quarterback next year and get Justin Fields run his ass out of town.
And they thought Matt Nagy was the problem.
Yeah. Oh, they thought, oh, yeah, absolutely.
Bunch of dumbasses.
But I mean, the Chicago Bears, like, they're beyond, for me, you talk about the biggest disappointment. They are beyond disappointment for me. This is a disaster. I thought that Justin Fields could have a legitimate career. They fucking destroyed it before it even started. I mean, they brought in DJ Moore to help him, and it's just not there's nothing going on down there. It's a piece of shit organization, and I feel bad for Justin Fields because they're going to get rid of his ass.
Okay. Hey, man, I appreciate that. I like that one. I mean, that's a good, I mean, I think in a lot of ways they're right, too. So I feel you,
it's
man.
not wrong. I'm
Tanner,
What do you mean it's not wrong?
It's not wrong. The Bears,
It's the biggest disappointment
Bears,
in the fucking NFL.
I'd say the Bears are right there.
I also want to say one thing. I think it was a little overhyped, too. I think there was a lot of hype going into the year for the Bears to have like figured it all out all of a sudden after losing 10 in a row.
But you knew the Vikings were going to take a step back.
Barely.
You knew that the Packers were going to take a step back. You knew that the Lions were a lot of people thought the Lions were overhyped.
Yeah, the Lions were hyped correctly.
Oh, well, that's fine.
They were correctly hyped.
But nobody's believed in them for fucking decades.
Here's the thing. You can't overcome your own stupidity. And so that's what the Bears have done. Is the team no? So even though the Packers suck, even though the Vikings have fucked up here and there, even though the Lions are, they're not bad. The Bears at the end of the day have to deal with themselves.
So basically,
you sit in your own bed. So now make it.
So basically, what you're telling me to go back. Let's just go back a few years here. What you're telling me is that the Bears are not who we thought they were.
Now,
the bottom line.
I will let you say that comment. The Bears, well, they're worse than I thought. So I guess I'll agree.
That's sad.
The Bears are not who we thought we were.
They're not.
They're not
who
the Bears are who we thought they were.
I mean, there's so much for this answer. You can go
fucking sad.
Atlanta's offensive situation. You can go to the Giants' offensive situation. I think end of the day, outside of the Bears, I mean, another team full of hype, another team full of promise, another team full of what it might have been is the Denver fucking Broncos. Biggest disappointment. Biggest disappointment.
Really? You're going there.
Sean Payton, new coaching staff, new chemistry, new morale coming into play.
That's bullshit.
Why would it be bullshit?
I disagree with you. That's not the biggest disappointment.
No, I said outside of the Chicago Bears.
I told you guys, okay, that's fine. But outside, I told you guys last week, like Sean Payton he's got a blank check. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
That's what
he's in no danger.
Still a disappointment.
He's in no danger of getting fired. He's got a shitball fucking quarterback and Russell Potato, Russell Wilson, whatever the fuck you want to call him. So to me, that's not a huge disappointment.
Not even Josh McDaniels.
You're playing in the AFC West.
Points.
You're playing the AFC West.
Not even Josh McDaniels lost 70 points.
The best thing that you could do,
be competitive.
The best thing that you could do is just fucking tank and get a legitimate quarterback to try to compete against guys like Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes. That's not going to happen right now. So to me, that's not a disappointment.
Sitting at 1-3 with a minus 50 point differential.
The biggest disappointment for me would
through
be
5 weeks, 4 weeks.
I'll tell you what, I've got Denver Broncos fans in my family. The biggest disappointment for me, if I were a Broncos fan, is to not get a legitimate quarterback in next year's draft. That's the fucking disappointment. Not fucking the way they're playing right now. Because nobody gives a fuck.
Did we see Broncos in the list of teams?
Of what?
Of homeboy wanting to play that he would pick his team, or if not, he'll go back.
No,
I didn't see Broncos in that list.
No,
Broncos better hope they're not number one.
No, I'm gonna say no.
They're gonna be sorely disappointed for many years.
Yeah, I don't know about all that one, man. It is an interesting one. I got probably 3 in mind right now. One of them is not arguable, but it's more of just that I'm disappointed to see how quickly Aaron Rodgers' Jets season ended.
Tanked.
And, it was after only just a couple short plays. And that's disappointing to me because as a fan of the game itself, I'd have been much more excited to watch Jets Chiefs on prime time with Aaron Rodgers rather than here we are talking about Zach Wilson and what a wonderful game he played. Now he has some believers, which is awesome. I'm glad those dumbasses can enjoy themselves for a week or so. The other one for me is also the Chiefs wide receivers are just a major disappointment. Just personally, because I had a lot of belief going into the year that there would be more impact from the wide receiver group. And I really believed in Marquez to get more involved. I believed in Sky Morty. And you guys know I had low expectations for Sky, but to get more involved than what we've seen, which is asking for barely anything at all. I'd rather have Marvin Minnis on this team.
Yeah.
I'd rather give me those guys. Give me Sly-Mo. I'll take them, man. I'll take those guys on this team right now, man. And now you're telling me Rashee Rice leads the wide receivers and targets on the year, and he's had, I think, a few drops of his own, but same time, I at least like that we're trying to get him involved because he's going to be good eventually. Let's just get him more involved as time goes on. But this group is not at all what I thought it was going to be when I watched them in training camp. And I went up there 2 different days, and I was happy both days with what I saw on the field. And I know it's against air. I understand that, guys. It's against air. You're not watching a practice against other actual NFL defenders who are trying their hearts out to make an impact. And obviously our main practice, Tanner, before we even got to the live drills, got rained out. So, anyways, after that, I got one more. For me, it's the Jaguars.
My next team.
Trevor Lawrence has had a bit of a rough start, more so than I definitely thought. They lost to the Houston Texans 37-17. They did beat the Falcons this past week, obviously 23-7, which is great out there in London, which is their second home. And then they played tough with the Chiefs though, 17-9 in that game. But the offense, man, the Jaguars' offense to me is the thing that's like the most concerning because I'm like, that's what was going to carry you, in my opinion, throughout the year was that offense. And you beat the Colts 31-23. I want to see the Jaguars pull away, prove to us all 3 sitting here who all say maybe the Texans are the best team in your division that we're all fucking wrong. And we're all dumbasses because they could pull this thing out. They could get this thing turned around
too. So
because are you going to tell me CJ Stroud is good or if not better than Trevor Lawrence already? Because that's nuts. If you guys all think that, that's nuts. And I think if Trevor Lawrence comes out, plays the way he needs to be playing, then these weird scores we've been saying where they're getting beat by 37-17 as the Texans, stuff like that, that's going to go away. Mm-hmm. And also this past game with the Falcons, Lawrence didn't play great. He played good enough to not lose.
It's a statement game this weekend.
It has to be.
Jacksonville
Buffalo, which in the past the Jaguars have had their number. Let's keep that in mind.
They're back in London Jaguars territory.
I want to
even though they're not a home team, they're back in London for 2nd week straight. So
back again. That is true. I think the Jaguars could make a statement to make us all rethink our Texans picks. So.
Well, just to be clear, if I'm betting on it right now, I'm still betting on the Jaguars to win that fucking division. I think right now the Texans are the best team in the division. But if I was placing a bet right now, I'm going all in on the Jags because I believe in Doug Peterson as coach. I mean, you guys, if you're a Jaguars fan, you really want to bring Urban Meyer back in there? You think Doug Peterson is that shitty that you want to bring Urban Meyer back in there as the coach?
Oh,
Probably not.
Doug Peterson's not shitty at all.
Is Doug Peterson not a Super Bowl winning fucking coach? I mean, like at some point, you're going to see a reversion back to the mean. The only question is it going to happen second half of this season, or is it going to take until next year to happen? My bet would be that it's probably going to happen this year. And all these people that are betting against the Jags right now, you might want to give it a little bit more time because it's still a little bit early.
Yep, I agree. All right, one more question, guys. Let's not get too deep into this because we got one more thing to go over, obviously. Way too early MVP. This is Tanner's favorite topic every year. He's really good at it. He normally gives somebody who's a total dumbass. And so, what do you got, Tanner? Let's start.
It was going to be Zach Wilson
Start with
after
the
last
dumbass.
week. But
I was going to say, who do you got, Tanner?
close.
Tell us who your MVP is.
Look, it's hard to. The guy I want to put up there is 12th ranked overall in the QB rank, so I'm not putting him up there. I don't like anybody else in the top 5. One just got blown out last week from their division rival. So I went to the receivers, and I'm like, Justin Jefferson, yeah, he's always good. I'm not giving it to him either because I don't think he's pulled away or made anything special this year. So just only one guy, Christian McCaffrey. 80 attempts, 459 yards, 5.74 yard average, 6 touchdowns, 21 targets, on top of the 18 receptions, 141 yards. This guy in 7.83 yards per reception, by the way. This guy just has the numbers that statistically outshine everybody in the between QBs, tight ends, and wide receivers. Christian McCaffrey is your MVP at this point going in, and he also leads. Am I right? In PPR total fantasy points, he is the number 1 in fan points and standard, and also in PPR.
Nice. What you got, Jason?
And I love this topic because the early season MVP, as we all know, doesn't mean shit because a lot of these fuckers play like shit when you get to the end part of the season. And so, there's a lot of guys out there I would love to pick. If I was going to bet on it right now, I love Jalen Hurts. I mean,
that's who I wanted, but
I love
he's
Patrick
12th
Mahomes. If I'm making a bet right now, I do not care about these guys that play well in the beginning of the season. But if I had to give the award out right now, obviously it's going to Josh Allen, throwing for 1,048 yards and 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 2 rushing touchdowns. Again, this is a guy that I do not trust in December and January, but I do trust him outside of that first game. I trust him early in the season, September, October, maybe even into November if I'm feeling a little bit lucky. But I would give, if that award was given out right now, yeah, absolutely. Give it to Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills.
Interesting pick. I like it. I mean, I totally understand it as well, but I have to also agree with Tanner because Brock Purdy would not be undefeated as a quarterback without Christian McCaffrey. And so to me, that makes you, if you can make that much of an impact on a team, on a field, by making sure your team is undefeated with you on the field in regular season, then without a doubt, you are the number 1 guy in the league right now. And on a down per down basis, he's the most reliable when it comes to both rushing and receiving on this field. And to me, McCaffrey is one of those guys that we've always thought this too, because as long as he's healthy, we've always known he's your number 1 pick in fantasy, right? You know why? He gets all the touches. He gets all the touches that matter. He gets all the receptions. He's also, he does badass as a running back. He does all the things well.
Yeah. So of course it pops up actually on my phone. Your current best odds for MVP, plus 400 for Josh Allen, leads the way. Mahomes still at 550, Tua at 600, Hurts at 800. After Lamar, Herbert, and Purdy, Christian McCaffrey at plus 2,500.
So here's the thing. I can't disagree with the Purdy McCaffrey thing because you got to put McCaffrey ahead of Purdy.
No,
because
no.
Purdy
I'm not doing
Purdy is not going to be Purdy right now.
You
without
guys
McCaffrey.
are haters when it comes to Brock Purdy.
No,
tell me how many games Brock Purdy's won without Christian McCaffrey, and then we can go over some more details. Because
that's fair point too. But Purdy also doesn't turn the ball over.
No, Purdy doesn't turn the ball over. But you also have the greatest offensive weapon. And I'm saying in both ways.
Yeah.
You just told me you love quarterbacks that don't turn the fucking ball over. So why don't you give Purdy some fucking credit here, right?
I'm not doing that.
Give him some fucking credit.
He's a good player.
Who,
I like Purdy.
if you could flip a coin right
He's
now,
better than Jimmy Garoppolo. I'll tell you that right now. Brock Purdy is a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Thank you for that.
Does that make you feel better about it?
That makes me feel much better.
I mean that when I say that.
Jimmy Garoppolo
Sucks
had an
ass.
amazing. His winning percentage was amazing when
And
he
I
first
told you
started his
guys-
starting career.
I told you guys that's all over once he goes to the Raiders, and it's over.
Well, you can't measure his career by the Raiders because everybody's career.
Oh,
Everybody's career is over.
I'm going to measure it by the Raiders because
fuck no.
that's who he really is. Kyle Shanahan, guys, you guys don't realize top 3 coach in this entire fucking game. He will make.
I don't care about that.
Kyle Shanahan is like Andy Reid was.
You're trying
back
to
before he would take little fuckers out there
I don't
after
care
Donovan
about that
McNabb
shit.
and make them win 12 games.
You are
It was
trying.
wild.
You're trashing Jimmy Garoppolo because he ended up on the Raiders.
No,
in much the same way
No.
that you would trash
I'm saying Jimmy Garoppolo.
Antonio Brown.
Jimmy-
You would trash Antonio Brown after
No.
he went to the Raiders.
Jimmy Garoppolo is what they thought he was all along.
The
That's
Raiders.
what I'm saying about Jimmy Garoppolo.
I'll tell you
Brock
guys one
Purdy
thing.
is also a product of a fucking wonderful offense with all the
That's
weapons
fine.
in the world. and
So
I will tell you
top-rated
this,
coach.
guys.
So-
There's one team in the NFL that is not a measuring stick for your
At
career.
the same time, Brock
That
Purdy
is
yes,
the Raiders.
Brock Purdy
Why-
is good.
why didn't
I'm
Thank you.
I'm
I
not going
appreciate-
to say
I
he's not
appreciate you
good.
saying it.
why didn't
I'm
Trey
saying
Lance
he's
work
good.
out?
Is he the MVP? Fuck no.
But you
No.
talk so much
Why
shit
didn't
on
Trey
Jimmy
Lance work out?
Garoppolo, and I'm pissed.
Because Jimmy Garoppolo sucks ass. He always
Because
has, always will.
he's on the Raiders.
No, he's
Yes.
always sucked. You don't realize that.
He's been bad.
It's been a fraud all along. You've been fooled.
No, I wasn't fooled.
What does Willy Wonka say? Like, you lose.
You
Look up Jimmy Garoppolo's record. Look up his fucking
I don't
starting
give a
record.
fuck.
He
He was with the 49ers
But you should though. That's
Who-
why you're
for
fucking
what, 7
biased.
years? 7 years with the Niners?
No, you should care about the way he started out his career with the
Tom Brady.
Patriots.
Ooh,
No, fuck
oh,
no.
I gotta give
So,
a fuck about
Brady
that.
was injured. What the
gives a
fuck are you
shit?
talking about?
Who gives a shit?
You should care.
I don't give a fuck.
You should
He
care.
sucks ass.
No, he does not.
Go sing more songs to your daughter.
How?
how? Wait.
Hey, Tanner, what was his career when he started out with
It-
the fucking Patriots and then the Niners?
Here's his
Because
QB.
this guy over here is full of shit.
Here's
all
his
of a sudden.
QB record. So this is with him starting, right? This is his QB
Give
record.
me the first 15 games. Well, first 15
2-0
games.
in 2016, 5-0 in 2017, 1-2. That's his responsibility in wins. 13-3 in 2019.
With the Niners?
That's with New England and the Niners. His QB team record in games started by this QB.
I want to
in the
know
season.
what he did that when they played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I want to know what that
13-3.
Yes, thank you. He's
I don't
not
care.
a shitty quarterback.
That was his best year.
I don't
only-
care.
He's
he
never.
became,
He only touched 3,500 once. Other, and that was 2021.
He doesn't do shit.
he became a shitty quarterback when he went to the Raiders.
Guys, we
You-
used to sit here and talk
You
about,
went-
Hey,
Tanner.
newsflash. You
remember-
go to the
remember-
Raiders, you
We
suck.
used to talk about system quarterbacks all the time,
Yes.
right? System quarterbacks. Jimmy Garoppolo was a system
How?
He's a
quarterback
winner.
who's a lucky motherfucker
He's
to
a
work with
winner.
Kyle Shanahan for as long as he did, and Bill Belichick,
Hey,
by
man.
the way. Brock Purdy
He was
is
a
a
fucking winner.
actual good quarterback with the right head on his shoulders,
That's
who has
fine.
also
I love that.
a great cast around him, which
That's
makes
fine.
him look
How-
better than what he is.
You
How do
can
we-
say, and that's fine. If you want to say that Purdy is better than Garoppolo, I agree with you on that. But that doesn't give you the right to call Jimmy Garoppolo a piece of shit
He is.
just because he ended
He
up
is.
on the fucking
No.
Raiders.
He always was.
Bullshit.
He always was.
Bullshit.
He sucks.
This is. Yeah, he doesn't. throw.
Moving right along.
He's not good.
I think it's time for betting, man. When are we going to do?
All right,
I've
Tanner.
made so
Let's
much
move
fucking money
right
today.
along
Hey,
to
I've made so much
Tanner?
fucking money. Can we do some bets? Seriously, can we do
Yeah,
some fucking bets,
Tanner.
you piece of shit?
Tanner. You ready?
Come on.
You
hurry up.
ready? Or do you have something else to say?
He's got a lot
Can
more
we
to
move
say.
on?
Well,
He
let's move on.
loves, He loves Jimmy
move on.
Garoppolo. He loves him.
No, actually, he's
They
actually
must
does,
the
he
same
does
way.
not
I-
like Jimmy Garoppolo.
I love him because he's
He's
a porn
looking at
star,
the stats right now.
and you should.
He has a limp dick
Hey,
because he knows he sucks.
the between all three of us, you're more into porn than the other two.
Jeez.
And he's a porn star. He dated a porn
Jimmy
actress.
Garoppolo?
Yes, he did. And
I've
so
seen
you're
Antonio
talking
Brown's dick.
trash.
Every
You
Chris Jones.
And Geno Smith?
I don't understand it. He was into porn in much the same way that you're into porn, and you're talking shit on him.
Well,
because he's a porn star, and now all of a sudden, oh well,
I don't think he's
he
a
plays
porn
for the
star.
Raiders. Now I hate
I
him.
don't think he's a porn star. I
No.
don't know anything about him. I've never seen
You need to look.
I've never seen him do gay porn.
You need to look at his entire career.
I've never watched.
You need to rethink what's going on.
I've never
through your
watched
mind
any
right
of his porn, so it has nothing to do with.
It has a lot to do with everything.
Let's get into it.
It's awful.
Easy money bet of the
Awful.
week, guys. Easy money bet of the week.
All right, Tanner, how did we do last week?
Let's talk about the recap here, guys. It was one of those rough ones again. Definitely not the high end of things here. JG had Chiefs -9.5. Mike with Ravens +3 got that dub.
Good job.
Chiefs also -9.5. And then
you guys shit the bed.
so you guys missed the Chiefs
I was
one
half.
by what, 5?
You guys shit the
Look,
fucking bed, dude.
6, right?
6, I guess. But
Let's talk. I
I mean, I had.
Well,
Well,
you
they
were-
were up 17-0.
know. I'm
And
aware.
then Mahomes slid at the end of the game.
He said at the end of the game. I don't want to talk about that yet because I really want to trade him.
I'm
So
saying I was 50.
I want to trade his
I
ass.
got one right, one wrong.
I want to
guys.
trade his
God
ass,
damn,
but I'm not going
sorry.
to talk about it.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I want to. Can I just have a small? I don't need a JG session. I just
Okay.
need a very small session.
Say.
Sam Laporta for me over 4.5 receptions. 4 receptions alone in the first half.
Laporta, really?
In the first half.
Are we
never,
going there? Are we going there?
He never had less than 5 going into this game. 4 receptions in the first half,
Mm,
and they never targeted him. They did target him one other time in the second half. It was the interception that he and Goff ended up throwing. Lost that bet on the over 4.5. Utah State -6. Utah State
Oh, shit.
is up by 7. Up by 7. 10 seconds to go. No, 15 seconds to go.
You betting on that too?
Hold on. No, he's telling his experience.
Can I not
He's talking about his
bend a little bit?
experience.
Utah State -6. UConn scores, right? To tie the game, right? So 6. All they got to do is make the extra point. Utah State blocks the extra point.
Mm,
Time runs out. Win by 1.
Jesus
Unfucking
Christ.
real. Luckily, Seahawks did not fail me on my money line. We did get a dub. So we ended up with 2. We went 2 and what was that, 4? The JG's win percentage is now at 40%.
Oh, that's amazing.
Mike's
A ladder.
60.
I use the ladder.
Myself is at 55. Our Sports Buffoon
So
total
we're-
percentage, guys,
Mm.
is at 52%.
Shit
We're
balls.
still
we gotta
above
get
50.
we gotta get back up again. No. Here's the thing: sports betting, Tanner. We gotta be above 55.
Correct.
55 is the threshold
That's-
that we need to be above at all times.
That's where we're at.
And so let's make sure we're giving the people the right advice. Obviously, the first week, I feel good about the first couple weeks. I mean, I started off strong. So
I was heartbroken on
Um,
this last weekend.
no,
man.
but here's the thing: we all had shit that went down. That was like came down to like the last.
the last fucking.
like it was never anything that was
how
outrageous.
does this happen?
Like we were like dead ass wrong. It was more of like the bottom barrel random most.
It
things
just
that have
didn't
ever
work.
happened. So I'm hoping my pick is gonna end up being all right, but I don't know yet. I'm a little
So-
worried, but
Before we do this, guys,
Oh, shit.
let's get our ad read in.
JG, let's get it going.
Fuck me. All right, guys. You know what? I've got a lot of when we go every week, we go into this fucking segment where we talk
You're
about
supposed to say easy money bet of the week.
sports. No, fuck you. When you go into the sports betting experience on this show, I go back to my life experience. So I've got a lot of good life experience. I've got a lot of bad life experience. But the one thing I know for sure, guys, on a positive note, is that sports betting has rapidly risen in popularity. And I want to connect you all with an opportunity to get started or get ahead. Having multiple sportsbook accounts is the most simple way to maximize your profits, and there has never been a better time to sign up. When you visit my page, signupexpert.com/buffoons, you'll be connected to all the sportsbooks in your region, along with a review of each platform and its unique benefits. All of these sportsbooks have valuable sign-up offers for new users, and when you register through my link, you will automatically receive the top offer at each one. When you use multiple sportsbooks, you ensure that you can always access the best available odds, which is key to successful sports betting. You want to take advantage of these benefits and support our brand, please consider signing up for your next sportsbook at signupexpert.com/buffoons. Buffoons.
Very nice.
Thank you for that, Mike. You inspired me, you piece of shit.
I just always want to be.
Inspired me.
I want to get behind you and all your thoughts.
You
and
should
beliefs.
always inspire me.
So
like
that's the main thing.
I appreciate you, motherfucker.
All right, guys. All right. So Tanner, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Kick it off.
Let's do it.
Easy money bet of the week.
Easy money
money bet of the week.
All right, Tanner, kicking it off.
Kicking it off, guys. I don't have a I hate to say it, I don't have a prop bet. Did not actually get the time to look up one this week just yet. So work's been pretty slammish. So we will give it off here. We'll start with the NFL bet that I have before I move to my college bet. But give me the Houston Texans money line for this week here. I think it's a very winnable game. These guys have been hot. And I think I'm going to go with what we just talked about there on Mike's rapid fire segment. Houston, you got to back these guys up. The way Stroud's playing, the way they're doing here, they're going against Atlanta, who's not a very consistent team offensively. They tires their defense out very quickly. And I
watch out for Bijan.
You do got to watch out for Bijan, but I think the more that Stroud's able to move the ball down the field gives their defense a chance to rest and scheme. And they're underdog favorites right now. You know, they have a +2 line right now, +1.5 on some. I'm gonna go out full out and take the money line up +110.
Nice, yeah.
Into play there.
You almost took the one I wanted.
I almost did.
I literally.
Were you gonna go the line?
I went with the money line.
No, you went money. Okay.
I was going the money line, so almost went that route. Ended up looking back over everything and wanted to go more for an even odds again because I don't know. 2 weeks ago, you guys, I did a parlay. Not the best thing I could have ever done. I got 1 out of 2 of those right. And this past week, also did the same thing where I went with 2 picks and got 1 of the 2 right. And I'm kind of frustrated with doing that. You know, you guys know me. I'm always a 1 pick kind of guy where this is my kind of guarantee of the week. And I'm tired of doing the parlays and the 2 picks for the week.
Parlays suck, man.
I might do it again eventually throughout this year.
Sucks.
But my pick of the week is tomorrow night, which means you better be watching this fucking show either right now or very quickly soon in the morning.
Watch the fucking show.
It is Commanders and Bears Thursday Night Football. You take the under 44.5 in that game. Without a doubt, it is going to be quite a game of a shit show. First of all, Thursday Night Football, you guys. I mean, we know how these things always turn out. Thursday Night Football is always a mess. And, you know, the Bears going through the Bear things. And it's just going to be, it's not going to be a fun situation for anybody involved in this game. The 44.5 is I don't know really know why they put it that line. It doesn't really make sense to me.
It does seem weird.
I think that the people who are watching Washington right now and they're seeing Eric Bieniemy call the plays and all those kind of things, I think that they're starting to think that, okay, maybe it was Sam Howell was trying to get an offense rolling and whatever. At the end of the day, it's too high of a number. At the end of the day, it's too high of a number for either team, one of these to hit.
Well, it could be too because they did hit the over last week against Philadelphia. They hit the over in Denver as well.
Hey,
they've hit the over in 2 of the 4 weeks.
That's great. That's great.
So that's probably what it is.
But, you know, kind of like when I did at Craps tonight. I mean, when you see 2 in a row, you want to go opposite because I went for 3 in a row and it did not end well.
Not that the Bears attribute to much of this, but the over was hit 3 out of the 4 games for the Bears during the Bears games as well.
Part of my reasoning as well is Thursday Night Football. And 44.5 to me with these 2 teams, offenses both with something to prove a little bit more.
I like this actually.
I'm gonna go definitely on the under on this. So guys, I'm gonna give you guys an actual score.
By the way,
prediction.
Okay, what was your score? Go ahead.
I was gonna go Commanders to take a win, 21-14.
Okay, so last year when they played around this time frame, October 13th, it was 12-7 Washington. So that was a 40.5 over under. 12-7 Washington was the score.
12-7, huh?
On October 13th last year.
Yeah.
I like that.
Take the under, man. 44.5.
I like it.
So, JG, you're up next.
All right, man. You know what? I'm looking at this Steelers game. They're hosting the Ravens right now, and I told you guys that I did believe in the Ravens to win the division. That's true. I mean, they're 3-1 right now. Steelers are 2-2. However, Mike Tomlin apparently is allergic to fucking losing records in his career. So Steelers right now, I'm going to take them +4 against the Ravens. Steelers +4. That's my pick. It's going to be a close game, tough divisional matchup. But while I do believe in the Ravens this season, I don't necessarily believe in them this game. So give me the Steelers.
Wow. Crazy, man.
So there is Saturday games, guys. We do have college games out there, of course. There is a game that a couple games I'm interested in, such as Kentucky +15 against Georgia. Georgia has looked pretty abysmal, may say the least. They have not looked good.
They've not looked like a team that's ready to dominate.
No, they don't.
I mean, they look like they're ready to crumble in some ways, actually.
A very fun game with Wyoming and Fresno State. Fresno State being number 24 undefeated. Wyoming at +6.5. That could be a very good game as well. There is also, why doesn't it show because we're not top 25 anymore. Hey, that would make sense. Why KU's not showing in top 25, huh?
Yeah, that's true.
After that Texas lost.
You mean you came back down to reality?
Yeah, we finally hit a team that I figured would put us back in our place.
I figured that too.
In that one. We're going against another team. This is not part of the money bet, but this is just a mention for you guys there. As much of a Jayhawk with my new basketball jersey, I hope you like it. It's color. It's a Final Four.
Rock. It's almost Mizzou colors. It's Mizzou colors with tie dye.
Yeah. So UCF, who blew unreal deal. They blew a 35-point lead to Baylor last week and ended up losing by 1 to Baylor. UCF is currently unfavored at +3.5. KU's favored by 3.5. It was 4 actually earlier. I wouldn't mind taking that UCF +3.5 if you guys are at it. My easy money bet that I am going to throw out there though, and I've been looking around at this bet this afternoon when I was trying to make my picks. I was trying to figure out why is it set this way, and I still can't figure it out. Washington State at UCLA, 4-0 Washington State, number 13 in the nation, a team that has beat Oregon State by 3 points. It has beat Wisconsin, has beat Colorado State, is not favored to win this game against UCLA, who lost to Utah 7-14, who also lost I can't remember these freaking names, the CC, some nobody. This team is not, UCLA team is not good at 3-1. I don't care what you say. Give me Washington State money line right now, +150. They're on BetMGM. I don't understand why this is happening. So give me Washington State to take advantage of it while you can.
And I do at least appreciate you're the one on this show that does college bets, because we stick to NFL throughout our entire talk.
There's
of our
more
show.
than just NFL going on.
Tanner, I understand that. We sit here and talk about NFL all day or whatever, and during NBA we talk about NBA, but we don't talk much college football. So
no.
I mean, somebody on here at least needs to do that every once in a while, I suppose. Not to say that I don't watch college football. I watch college football literally every single weekend. I mean, I love college football, you guys.
Which I'm kind of surprised you don't.
Every minute I can of my spare time on weekends, I'm watching college football. My girlfriend can sit here and attest to that. No, just I like at least you give some college football. I know we've given you some crap about it in the past. That's been a thing, but I hope this week you at least do well with all those picks.
I didn't do again. I lost some heartbreakers. The UCF game being 35 freaking points.
And here's the thing: at the end of the day, Tanner, we as a group are sitting at 52%, right?
We are,
which means we need to get that shit up above 55. That is the goal at all times. In sports betting, guys, if you're above 55%, that means you could be in the profit every single time you do a bet.
No, that's bullshit.
Jason,
all you need is 52%. You just said we're at 52%. You can make a profit. You can make a living. You can live the rest of your life.
Trying to just tell the average person listening, that's all you need to
do. You guys know that there's going to be another leg in a month being added to this easy money bet of the week?
What do you mean?
College basketball starts 11-6.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I can work with that.
Yeah.
I can work with that.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'd rather do NBA.
Hey.
I'd rather do NBA.
NHL starts actually Tuesday.
I'm not interested. Tanner.
Tuesday. Actually,
why would I sit
I
here
was very profitable
and tell
in the
people
NHL.
a bunch of made up bullshit that I believe in? Meanwhile, they could be getting the truth where my heart really lays.
The NHL
with every single
bets,
pick I make.
I will probably add every now and then, but that I won't start that for 3 weeks because I got to see how the scoring trends go. I was really good at NHL last year, so I got to see where the scoring trends go as we through 3 weeks.
All I know is, dude, if you're sitting at 52% with the Buffoons, you're making a shitload of money. So
you guys got 9 minutes. Talk to me about NBA for a minute.
If we win all this, guys, we get up to 60%.
All right. Here's the deal. NBA news, NBA trade. We got some things that have gone down.
Is your life really that bad that you have to sit here and listen to the fucking NBA talk for 9 fucking minutes?
I gotta cut you guys off at a certain point. So let's get it going.
You go to the bathroom or something. All right, guys. Tanner, what do you want to talk about here? Because we got a lot of shit going on right now. I know we have a certain person on this fucking show that hates the NBA. He can't stand it when we talk about the shit.
Bullshit.
But we do have a lot of things going on. So obviously we know that Dame Lillard, Dame time, got traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. You've got Emo sitting over there in the fucking Miami Heat uniform, is pissed, and he's all up in his feelings and dressing like I don't know what the fuck he's dressing like. And then you got fucking Drew Holiday, who said that he doesn't give a shit what happens. He is a Milwaukee Buck for life, going to the Boston Celtics. So, Tanner, I want to know from you first off, let's just talk about the East, because I know like you could sit there and talk about the fact that Emo lost a couple of guys, right? He lost Max Strus, lost Gabe Vincent, who apparently is going to be the backup now. I saw a report earlier. He's not even going to be the fucking starter on the Lakers.
What?
He's going to be backing up D'Angelo Russell for the Lakers. That's probably not going to last very long. I actually like Gabe Vincent a little bit better than I like D'Angelo Russell, but that's neither here nor there. Bottom line is he's not playing for the Heat right now. So Emo is all up in his feelings. Jimmy Buckets. So I just want to talk about the East right now and how do you think this is going to play out? Because we all believe that the Bucks and the Celtics are going to be the top two right now.
They should be.
At least in the East, if not in the entire NBA, at least contending with, or against the Denver Nuggets. So who do you give the edge to there after all of these trades have gone down?
It's going to be weird to say this. And it's just the first off feelings, knowing, what these superstar teams end up being. You got to I think you got to take an account of who is the less of the superstar trades that just went down. And it's going to be Boston. Boston signed their 2 guys. You don't have to worry about money anymore there in Boston. Drew Holiday has already been to a championship, so it's not like he hasn't been around it. And now you made yourself better by getting rid of a Robert Williams, getting rid of a Malcolm Brogdon. Brogdon, who never ended up fitting in Celtics and the Boston world the right way. I think Boston is your team right now. They are plus 450, so they did move up from 500. But Milwaukee's still favored at plus 400. But in the end, I think Boston is probably your favorite still as we enter the NBA season here in about a month.
And I agree with you on that. I mean, Malcolm Brogdon he didn't accomplish what he was brought in there to accomplish. And so I think that the Celtics did get better. Okay. Yes. So they got better. But if I'm making my pick, if I'm just talking about if we're walking into an Eastern Conference Finals right now, who am I going to pick to win that fucking series? I don't care about the regular season schedule. I am taking the Milwaukee Bucks right now to win that series. Okay. If those two teams are just playing against each other in the 7-game series, I'm taking the Bucks right now. And the reason I'm taking the Bucks is because they've already been there and done that, right? The Celtics, they just haven't really been to the mountaintop yet with this current team. They got rid of Robert Williams III, which I like.
Yes.
Couldn't stay healthy. They got rid of Brogdon, which I like. So they're doing everything right here. But that doesn't necessarily take you to the promised land. You know, they lost Marcus Smart. Now, if Marcus Smart was still on this fucking roster, I would give you a completely different answer, because
Smart was that much of a
he was
threat?
the heart and soul of that locker room, and he was the best defensive player on that team. I understand they've got Porzingis. Everybody loves Kristaps Porzingis, and that's fine. But Marcus Smart was kind of the heart and soul of that locker room. And so Drew Holiday is an amazing defender, okay? But my problem with this whole trade is like, while Boston thinks that they got better and that they took a step forward, the Milwaukee Bucks took a bigger step forward. I love Drew Holiday, okay? Nobody's going to sit here and argue that Damian Lillard is a better defensive point guard than Drew Holiday. We all know that that's bullshit, right? Drew Holiday is a much better perimeter defender than Damian Lillard. We all know that. But Dame Time is a much better offensive player than Drew Holiday. And it's just a bigger gap there, okay?
Yeah.
So we know that Drew is better on defense, Dame is better on offense. The gap there is just bigger. So Dame Time brings you so much more on the offensive side of the floor than Drew Holiday can give you on the defensive side of the floor. And they've already got the experience. Dame Time, who's more motivated right now? You can't sit there and tell me that the Celtics are more motivated.
Why wouldn't they be? They didn't even make it to the finals.
Do you really think that Jaylen Brown? Okay,
yeah.
I didn't want to go there. But do you really think that Jaylen Brown wants to play in that city after all of
he just signed
all of the fucking racist
why would he sign for a bunch of money if he didn't want to play in that city?
Jaylen Brown
playing there.
That's fine. He's playing there. But he's had to deal with all the fucking racism that exists in that fucking town. Do you really think that he's going to be motivated to play for that fucking city?
Yeah.
I don't.
You think
I don't. He'd already said
think he's just going to sit around?
Do you think Boston's a racist town?
I don't think anything, man. I just go with the flow, right?
Hey, let's stick to
I go with the flow. Jaylen Brown, I don't believe that he wants to play in that fucking town. And so we're talking tit for tat here, okay? These two teams are fucking even. I'm telling you.
Demographics of Boston.
I'm telling you that Damian Lillard is a better offensive player than Drew Holiday is on defense. And Drew Holiday is he's not even all in, man. He just sat there and told you that he is going to be a Milwaukee Buck for life, okay? He's going to get paid this year. And I don't believe that they're good enough, okay? And everybody always talks about,
25% blacks. That's pretty normal.
Let's talk about who's the best duo. Who's the best duo in the NBA right now? I don't care about the duo.
Boston, 25% black. 50%.
I don't like these people in the media.
White.
They always talk about who's the best duo. Who's the best duo? Would you please stop talking about the best
They're not that racist.
duo in the league? I don't care.
Hey,
they're trying to sit there and cram Giannis and Dame Lillard down my fucking throat. I don't care. That is not the best duo in the NBA.
Who is?
I talk about fucking big threes. Did Chris Middleton not win an NBA championship?
I don't care for Chris Middleton
with Drew Holiday, with Giannis
Antetokounmpo.
I don't give a fuck about the dynamic duos. I want to see a big fucking three. Was Chris Middleton not the closer?
Sketchy.
Was he not the Kyrie Irving
2 years
on the
ago.
fucking Bucks
2 years ago
when they won that fucking championship?
Yeah.
If everybody's healthy,
why can't he do it last year?
That's a big three. That's the fucking big three. Okay. I do not view Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. That is not a big three.
Middleton is such an overrated
I do view
now.
Chris Middleton, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Dame Time. That is a big three.
Yeah,
those are the best three fucking players in the fucking Eastern Conference. I want to stop listening to this fucking bullshit.
I agree with that. This is the best big three. Only because
stop talking about
the other two are so good at what they do that Chris Middleton's like almost like what's his name from the Heat back in the day that was like the extra piece.
Yeah.
It was like,
the tall guy, Bosch.
Chris Bosh.
You of all people,
he's the Chris Bosh of that situation.
You're the person who should dominate this fucking segment because you have a big three in Phoenix.
No, we
you
don't.
have a fucking big three. You've got
We have old
KD.
Bucks.
You
No,
got
fuck
Beal
no.
there.
You've
We
got
need a
KD.
fucker down
You've
low.
got Brad Beal
We
and
have
Devin
no-
Booker.
Look.
That's a fucking big three. I
No, we
do
don't.
not care
You do.
about
No, we
fucking
don't.
Drew Holiday, Tatum, and
Jason.
Jaylen Brown. That's not
We
a
don't
fucking big
have
three.
anyone
Jason.
down low. We have no one down low. As a Suns fan,
You have
You'll be
we have no
okay.
one down low. So
You'll-
to
but
me,
you
you'll be
did.
okay.
You know what you did?
It's
You
irrelevant.
did addition by
I
subtraction.
agree. Chris
Yes,
Paul,
you did.
fuck yourself.
Now you have
And
a
DeAndre Ayton, go fuck
Tanner,
yourself.
talk to me about big threes.
Can-
What do you know
can-
about
So
that?
I agree with that part.
Can
Addition
I-
by subtraction.
Can I just say this real quick here? So I went looking at the rosters again because it's been a little bit. I actually do like the Milwaukee Bucks roster more than the Boston Celtics. I think there's more depth, and I didn't realize I must have missed it. You know, there's NFL and other stuff going on. Malik Beasley ended up signing for the Bucks. That's automatic depth. right
And
there.
he's a good shooter. If you look at his career numbers,
What did the Bucks do
guy
last
can
year?
he can hit fucking daggers, but he had a bad year with the Lakers last
The-
year.
the
Like he
only-
didn't shoot as well as he's capable of shooting.
my final thing here with what went on the last 2 weeks with trades, right? The only thing that makes sense on why Boston would probably win this thing next year, and if they keep him on there, they have an even better chance. They got a KU player on there. So look what happened. Christian Brown. KU player's
What?
been on a roster like 6 of the last 10 NBA
Christian
teams.
Brown's on the Nuggets.
I know. Svi, my
Oh,
he's gonna make it, baby.
okay, man.
He's in Boston.
That's fine.
But anyways, no, it's a very interesting
man.
deal. I'm interested to see how this Boston Celtics depth goes.
It's gonna
but
be wild, man. I would love
I'm-
to see that.
it's gonna be
fucking
fun.
series.
It's gonna be
fucking
fun.
Wild.
Very nice. Well, I'm glad you guys got that out of your system, at least for a while.
Hey,
You need to
because
talk more
it's
about
time-
the Phoenix
Hey,
Suns
hey,
I'm not talking about that.
next week.
Mike,
next
No,
week.
we're not talking about
Mike,
next week.
Mike,
We're not talking about next
Mike,
week.
can-
Fucking talk
can
about
you
the
sing with
NBA,
me?
you piece of shit.
I'm not saying anything.
sing with me. Sing
I'm
with me.
not talking NBA.
Sing
I'm
with
not
me.
singing.
No, sing with me. We're gonna imitate Jimmy Butler walking into the press conference.
Right.
I'm on a lonely road, the lonely road
Oh, your
that
favorite song
I
ever?
had ever known.
Yeah,
Oh,
Green Gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, big old Green Gay. Go.
Emo.
I'll pass on all that stuff.
I love
so.
emo, man. I feel sorry for him though.
Hey
I feel
guys,
sorry for that
I listen
guy.
to emo music myself. I don't give a fuck, but I'm not interested
Yeah, it's
in
good
talking
shit.
anymore NBA with
Never
you guys.
was emo, but
Shout out to
I hang
emo,
out with
man. But yeah, I feel sorry for him.
I'll
man.
pass.
That's bullshit.
By the
I'll
way,
pass on all
how
that.
hilarious that he walked in that way after Dame's trade and everything, because he really wanted Dame so bad, like to do pictures and stuff like that. It's the
It's
best.
not. People make a big
I mean,
fucking
it's
deal. of it.
funny, I guess.
It's not a big deal,
No,
dude.
It's funny.
Look at his hair last year
Yeah.
during the media set. It's the
It's the
same.
same
It's just a
shit,
different
for the most
fucking
part.
shit.
He has fun with it.
You know,
Let him-
he
let
has
him
fun
be.
with it. But
That's
I
fine.
do,
No,
I
no
do,
problem with it.
I really do feel sorry for him because he's one of my favorite
Did you-
players in the league, and I feel like he's earned the right to get some fucking players
Correct.
in that fucking.
Did
team.
you see how he was naming off teams like in his speech and stuff, and he didn't name Minnesota Timberwolves? He goes, the team I won't name, Chicago Bulls and stuff like that, but he would never name Minnesota in the end. I thought that was
No.
hilarious.
Yeah, that's another guy I feel sorry for is fucking the Ant-Man, because the Ant-Man is turning into a superstar right before our eyes, and he has
Oh,
a dog
Ant-Man.
shit
Yeah, yeah.
fucking
Sorry,
roster over there.
All right,
When-
we're
when
gonna
are
save
they
that for
trading?
Dune Day.
I can't wait for Towns to get traded.
We're gonna
somewhere
save
else.
that for a different day.
That's a different day, man.
It's a different
That's
day.
a different day.
Anyways, you guys, if you guys out there listening have anything to say about the Chiefs wide receiver situation, or just going forward to the NFL season whatsoever, or fantasy questions, of
Talk
course.
about the NBA for once.
I
in
wish
your
we could have
life.
gotten
Shit.
more time to talk fantasy with you guys today because we didn't really spend
It's
any
been
time.
a few weeks since we talked fantasy
Well,
too.
We're right, but we had some questions last week regarding around fantasy.
Yeah.
I hope we steered those people in the right way. I think we probably did.
Yeah.
But I would love to hear more fantasy questions along the way if we can. But otherwise, we'll be back here again once again on next Wednesday as a group. What are we missing? Give us a follow. Give us a shout out. If we
Like, subscribe, go
unless
follow
we-
us on
unless we sound
Spotify.
like total morons, but I think for the most part, what's funny about that is that I listen to a lot of radio. You guys listen to a lot of 610 and 810 here in
Oh,
Kansas
I
City,
feel sorry for you.
and they have a lot of dumb motherfuckers out there
Ooh,
running that
that's
fucking
brutal.
shit.
I can't believe you just said
I
that.
miss the old
Brutal.
days of Jay Binkley when we had a real football fan on the show. Alex Gold, shout out to you. You're not one of the people I just mentioned.
Yeah, we saw him the other day at Hollywood.
I like
Casino, didn't
Alex
we?
Gold. He's a good, but the rest of the Cody Taff and all, guys, you guys are fucking morons.
Taff is still around.
Fucking morons.
See, I haven't had to listen to radio.
I'm saying they're fucking awful. Fesco, you already know how they feel.
Sometimes you might want to think about getting a brain.
Well, those guys, Fesco and Klingler, unfortunately, as much as I think Klingler's a great guy, controlled by the fucking product. They're controlled by the product to do and say certain things. Unfortunately, can't give real opinions. But I have my two favorites at the moment that are with the station. Like I said, Binkley's been I don't know, he doesn't do anything anymore. Like he's not there anymore.
I heard him a few times since
I missed the days from fucking 8 years ago, man.
Where he was just on.
What a show that was. You had Binkley, you had Ryan Mikowski, you had
Henry Lake. Henry Lake
for a little while.
Oh yeah,
I don't know why he left, but
I think he
was like me, dude. He got abducted by the aliens. I think
it was just kind of
probably
wild, so.
Did Henry Lake get abducted by aliens?
No, he went back to Minnesota.
No, he's in
maybe more like I don't know.
So no. I got a buddy that's in Minnesota I talked to, and he hears Henry Lake, and he goes, "It's the same damn thing he did in Casey."
That's great.
Same damn thing.
That's great.
Everything that he tells me,
more power
replicate.
to it.
And it's even worse up there.
I'm sure it is. We're gonna save that. We're gonna save that. But anyways, you guys, I appreciate y'all listening to the show. I know we talk a lot of bullshit. We sit here, talk about our drinks, we talk about our nonsense, but that's also so that you sitting at home, if you're sitting there lonely on a Wednesday night, you can have one yourself and feel like you're hanging with the bros. And so anyways, that's why we're here today. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see y'all on the next one.
Outro.
See you guys.